Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
We begin with breaking news. It's a fatal car crash. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. That crash took place about 2.5 hours ago.
We know that one person is dead. It happened at the intersection of 45th Street and 40th Avenue North. That's north of Riley's Acres. And that's where we find Valley News Team's Giovanna Simic, who has details for us tonight. Giovanna?
Mike, Andrea, about 30 minutes ago, the State Patrol cleared the scene, but when I arrived on scene, it was horrific. Now, according to two witnesses that were in the van was driving northbound, and they rolled through a stop sign, collided with a car heading west. Both cars rolled multiple times and ended up in the ditch right here behind me. Now, speaking with the witnesses, they were in shock. I will never, ever forget their expression, but I did get a chance to speak with State Patrol, and he did say that the driver of the van, who was thrown from his vehicle, did not have, his airbag, did not deploy. I will have more information for you tonight on Valley News Live. It's 10 at 10, so stick with us. Mike, Andrea, back to you.
All right, and look for updates on this story as well on valleynewslive.com.
A Minnesota man has confessed to the abduction and killing of an 11-year-old boy in 1989. After pleading guilty to a single count of child pornography in a Minnesota court today, 53-year-old Danny Heinrich detailed how he kidnapped and killed Jacob Wetterling nearly 3 decades ago. Prosecutors also had Heinrich detail how he kidnapped and assaulted then 12-year-old Jared Shirol in January of 1989, just months before killing Jacob. Sources say Heinrich led investigators to Jacob's remains last week. The confession was part of a plea deal that calls for Heinrich to spend 20 years in federal prison. A judge has said that he could be civilly convicted as a sexual predator if he lives beyond his sentence. At a press conference following Heinrich's court appearance, both authorities and the Wetterling family said that they're thankful for closure.
Finally, we know. We know what the Wetterling family and all of Minnesota have longed to know since that awful night in 1989. We know the truth. Danny Heinrich is no longer a person of interest. He is the confessed murderer of Jacob Wetterling. And for that, he will spend the next 20 years in prison.
Stick with Valley News Live and valleynewslive.com for updates on this developing story. The battle over the Dakota Access Pipeline has intensified with heated protests over the weekend and now a halt in construction. Samantha Jo Roth is in Washington, where a federal judge has ordered an emergency hearing. She has the latest for us.
Well, proceedings here at U.S. District Court today really showcased the complexity of this case, and tensions were running high. Judge James E. Boasberg was able to broker an agreement between all parties involved. All attorneys on all sides agreed that no construction will continue between North Dakota Highway 1806 and 20 miles east of Lake Oahe. That is until Friday at midnight. The Standing Rock Sioux Tribe asked U.S. District Judge James Boasberg to temporarily stop work on parts of the oil pipeline to prevent destruction of culturally significant sites near Lake Oahe. The tribe filed an emergency motion on Sunday for a temporary restraining order. They wanted to halt further construction on an area 2 miles west of North Dakota Highway 1806 near Lake Oahe. That motion is based on the tribe's claim that it was not properly consulted before the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers approved the pipeline project, which would run from North Dakota, South Dakota, Iowa, and Illinois. An attorney for the Standing Rock Sioux Tribe says the tribe submitted important new evidence on Friday afternoon about the discovery of at least 27 burials and other culturally significant features in the path of the pipeline. He says he's very disappointed with the outcome today.
And we saw things happening out at Standing Rock, dogs being put on protesters that haven't been seen in America in 40, 50 years. The temperatures are too hot out there right now. We asked the court to get everybody to stand down. We also asked him for a temporary restraining order on the land on the other side of Route 1806, and that was what was denied. And that was where the sites were found on Friday.
The pipeline's developer, Energy Transfer Partners, did not respond immediately to the tribe's court documents, but in a statement, spokesman Vicki Anderson Granado disputed the tribe's claims, saying, "We were legally on private property that we have an easement on and have all proper permits and approvals. We were constructing according to our plans. Additionally, there has been nothing destroyed as claimed." The Army Corps of Engineers have declined our request for comment, citing pending litigation. Judge James E. Boasberg is expected to be out with his opinion on Friday. Of course, we'll continue to follow the latest updates on this case. For now, in Washington, Samantha Jo Roth reporting.
And you can also follow updates on this story on our website, valleynewslive.com.
A pleasant day for the start of school in Moorhead, for that matter, school in general, after the Labor Day holiday. Let's check in with Justin to find out what we can expect tonight in the weather. Justin?
Yeah, thank you, Mike and Andrea. Good evening, everybody. Yeah, we had our cloud cover, our share of it today, and we're seeing a few more peaks of sun now later on into this late afternoon and evening. 71 right now at Fargo, 70 Bemidji, and temperatures getting into the mid to upper 60s out toward Devil's Lake and Jamestown. We got mainly light winds from the north, but as you can see out toward Devil's Lake and Langdon, the wind is flipping more around to the south, which will bring in more active weather, especially for the day tomorrow. Few passing showers, especially just to the north of Ellendale. That's basically it for the moisture. We should keep a clearing trend as we go through later on this evening and through the overnight period as temperatures fall back through the 60s as we go through midnight. We're tracking the risk of severe weather as we go through tomorrow afternoon and evening. We'll have the details coming up later in the newscast.
All right, thanks, Justin. This school year has started, and for your younger kids, sitting in classrooms for almost 7 hours can pose a problem. And it creates a question: is kindergarten too structured? That's the talk among parents who find out that recess time has been cut, learning time increased.
Valley News Team's Cornelius Hawker shows us how one kindergarten class in our area is still learning, but always has a little time for play.
We have lots of playtime, actually, in kindergarten, because all of those areas are really important, not just intellectual, but social and emotional. Kids can be very, very smart, but not know how to get along with their friend, and someday their neighbors.
Mrs. Worrell, kindergarten teacher over at Grace Lutheran, has seen education standards change for kindergartners over the years.
Education has its swings going back and forth. Phonics was really important for a long time, then whole language came, and now we're kind of doing a combination of it.
And unlike public schools,
because we have smaller class sizes, we are able to individualize more.
Pretend?
Yes, it is, honey. Yep, that's a pretend garbage can.
Goodness, no. He finds his favorite book and sings his song.
Minnesota Governor Mark Dayton toured Popesville Elementary today.
I will continue to push for pre-kindergarten because I think that's so important to expand and make available to any parents who want to send their child to that kind of experience.
If he's able to get early childhood education funded, he's hoping the curriculum will include the following, all thought up by those actually in the classroom.
It's a combination of academic, it's a combination of hopefully some recreation, a lot of socialization, a lot of learning.
Back at Grace Lutheran, Mrs. Worrell shares what she hopes educators in our area take into consideration when developing curriculum for your child.
My hope would be that we remember just to keep all those levels of development even, so that they grow up to be good citizens, and of course at our school to be lovers of Jesus.
Cornelius Hawker, Valley News Live.
On another topic surrounding education, Governor Dayton says he's aware of school referendums that have failed in our area. He says he hopes increased state funding will help alleviate some of the budget problems.
2 men are behind bars after a shootout in a North Fargo neighborhood last night. Police got several calls that happened around 6:30 about gunshots in the 800 block of Oak Street North. The neighborhood went into a lockdown. Police say members of 2 groups were shooting at each other, but no one was hurt. 32-year-old Zach Northern of Moorhead, 21-year-old Jaquan Gatewood of Fargo are accused of reckless endangerment. Senators are calling on the Federal Trade Commission to investigate whether the maker of EpiPens violated the antitrust laws through a program which provides the life-saving drug to schools. A recent spike in the price of the portable pens, which deliver epinephrine in the event of a life-threatening allergic reaction, has angered families, doctors, and lawmakers. Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar is calling on the FTC to investigate manufacturer Mylan's EpiPen for Schools program. The company required some schools to sign contracts stating that they wouldn't purchase competing products for a year. If true, that might violate antitrust laws. Mylan released a statement today. That statement is on our website at valleynewslive.com.
The heroin and opioid addiction problems in our region have by no means gone away. At the Integrative Medicine Clinic in Thief River Falls that we first told you about in April, the number of patients continues to grow. Dr. Tim Rittenauer uses the drug Suboxone to ease cravings and help folks break the habit. He started with a license that let him treat 30 people a month. He has upgraded to be able to treat as many as 100 people a month.
And you're seeing folks from Bemidji, Fargo, Grand Forks areas?
Yes. Up, Grafton, North Dakota, we draw from. Seems like there's a lot of trouble up in Grafton for some reason, but and then down to Fergus Falls.
The doctor says the majority of his clients are regular people who simply became hooked on painkillers. If you would like more information, you can call them at 218-683-5118.
Drivers are going to find it slower going on certain roads in west central Minnesota. Where and why? Later on Valley News Live at 6.
And we were dry today, saw some sunshine with a high of 76 degrees, near normal for this time of year. We're going to see a cool down as we go into the extended forecast, and we're tracking those storms for tomorrow. We'll have the details next.